Alright, game changers, welcome back to another video here today. Now, there is no denying the fact that Call of Duty is the king when it comes to arcade multiplayer shooters. I mean, even haters have to admit this, even though they might not like Call of Duty. You have to admit that it has been a dominant force in the gaming industry for years now. Even when there are not so good Call of Duty games out there, it still tends to dominate. It's crazy. But even a king can learn a thing or two, right? And that's what I feel, especially after playing Xdefiant. And I have been playing a lot more Xdefiant than I have Call of Duty. In the last commentary, you guys have heard me say that I barely even play Modern Warfare 3. And that's because I've been consumed with playing Xdefiant. And since Xdefiant's release, a lot of the game's elements do feel similar to Call of Duty, from its gunplay, netcode, and hit registration. Maybe not so much. I mean, it'll only improve with time. The weapon attachments, layout, and more is very familiar. And it's not that surprising given that the game's executive producer, which is Mark Rubin, who we all know, worked at Infinity Ward and Call of Duty for nearly 10 years. But not only that, one of Xdefiant's gameplay designers is Patrick, aka Aches Price, who is a former Call of Duty pro turned developer. And do note that we are not saying that Xdefiant is better than Call of Duty, but that Ubisoft's latest shooter does a lot of things that Activision should probably do as well. They need to take some notes. And I'm going to go over some of those things that they can definitely improve it. And it would only benefit Call of Duty even more. Believe it or not, I've been playing Call of Duty for a long time, and I still do want to see it succeed. Have I been frustrated with it as of late? Absolutely. But I would love to see it do a lot better. So number one for me is the developer comms. I mean, Xdefiant is doing amazing at that. While Infinity Ward and even Treyarch were vocal in asking for feedback and reassuring gamers that they were listening, that all changes once the game releases, it seems like. And even though Sledgehammer Games is a bit better at this with Modern Warfare 3, Xdefiant's devs have taken it up a notch. 1, 2, and even 3. They are doing amazing with their feedback, and this is what we as a community absolutely love. I mean, over Twitter, Ruben and even Price have interacted with the community, and if possible, they answer questions and concerns, even if a lot of people are rude. I mean, what's new with the Call of Duty community and players on the internet? But from upcoming updates, changes, and even tech issues, the devs try and interact with the community as much as they can. And honestly, this is what we love. It doesn't even have to be, positive things. Sometimes we have positive criticism or just straight out criticism, and we are kind of ruthless when it comes to that. But even then, they answer our questions with class, and that is what I love. Like, they know that the internet can be a ruthless place, and they handle it amazingly. Another thing is, man, and this is a big one, no skill-based matchmaking. The dreaded skill-based matchmaking online mechanic, just to make sure that players win and lose at the same rate for most of their gaming time. I mean, Xdefiant has no skill-based matchmaking, and it shows, and everybody loves it because there are matches where you will stomp on enemies, and that doesn't mean that the next few games that you have will be up against a pro team. You can have another pub stomping match, but it can also go the other way. In short, there's no matchmaking algorithm that artificially controls who gets matched up with whom in order to maintain that one-to-one fairness, quote-unquote fairness, because that's what they claim. But let's be honest here, it just feels like a tournament every single time. Now, if Call of Duty got rid of that, which again, I feel like is nothing short of a miracle, because Call of Duty will not let go of skill-based matchmaking, or at least loosen the skill-based matchmaking, because man, that's my biggest complaint, and I think it's the community's biggest complaint too, that it just feels way too sweaty all the freaking time. I mean, it's not like before, the Call of Duty from before, back in the day, where it felt a lot looser and it felt like games where you can actually do well in. This time around, like the latest versions of Call of Duty, it's just turned up to the max, and this is what we do not like. I mean, in Xdefiant right now with no skill-based matchmaking, this is what feels fair to me. I mean, it could go either which way, and it doesn't feel like it's the same type of game all the time. You know, you're not facing the same sweaty players all the time. Like, it changes match to match. And if Call of Duty can incorporate that, like I said before, that would be amazing. And I feel like a lot more players would flock back into the Call of Duty experience if that happened. And another thing is the inflation that Call of Duty has. There is so much going on. It's not as simple as just starting the game and hopping into a match. I mean, it used to be that way, but nowadays there's just so many things popping up on your screen and trying to navigate to what playlist you want to go into. I mean, they don't have it simple anymore. There's just too many things. They need to get rid of that and have a simple UI. None of this extra nonsense that's popping up on screen, especially from the Battle Pass. Like, the Battle Pass constantly pops up in your face, and some of us don't even care for that. Like, I am not buying the Battle Pass. I don't want it to keep constantly being put up on the screen and reminding me that, hey guys, we have a Battle Pass available for you. These are the things that you can get from it. Like, I don't care. I'm not going to put money into the game other than purchasing the game. I don't want to get your mediocre cosmetic items. I don't want all that stuff. So stop constantly reminding me that you have these things in the game. If I want to, just leave it there for me to go to. Like, if I want to go to the Battle Pass and look at what's inside, let me do that on my own time. I don't want you guys popping it up on my screen, reminding me that these are the things that we have in the Battle Pass. Like, I don't care. I know a lot of people out there don't care about that stuff. So stop doing that. The thing that I appreciate about Xdefiant is that they don't do that stuff. And it benefits from having a very straightforward menu and modes, and it's just inflation free. It's free of all this nonsense that constantly pops up on your screen, and you can easily access loadouts, the faction menus, and more fairly fast. And when you start the game, you go into the matchmaking like that. It's super fast, which I love. You can't say the same for Call of Duty anymore. I mean, like I said before, Call of Duty used to be that way, but nowadays you have to navigate through this ridiculous Battle Pass menu, Warzone, and other stuff that Activision just loves shoving into our faces. So they need to get rid of that nonsense. And just one more thing, I actually want to go back to the communication. The communication is one of the most important things that you can do. To have that developer feedback, to be able to listen to your community. I mean, honestly, who was the last community manager? Remember when we had community managers and we would interact with them on Twitter? We would get feedback. We would know more about the game, more than just retweets from the Call of Duty official game or from forums and stuff like that. I want live communication where if we have questions, if we have concerns, we could get actual real feedback from a human being. We need a go-to point person or persons where we can, or we feel like we're being heard. I don't feel like we're being heard anymore in Call of Duty, and in Xdefiant, that definitely feels different. I feel like they are doing a much better job in that aspect, and Call of Duty Black Ops 6, you guys could definitely learn from them in that. And if you guys can master that, which you guys have the funds available, pay somebody for that position and pay them to answer the questions and concerns that we have, it would make the experience in Call of Duty so much more better, and people would be less frustrated with your game. I think competition is good in gaming, and if you have multiple games out there that you can go and play, Xdefiant, Call of Duty, other games out there that you guys might enjoy, it is a healthy environment for us as gamers to benefit from. So again, communication is key. If each of these games, if you guys want to do well, if you guys want to do well, more well than normal, then I think this is something that you should definitely look into. But anyways, those are some of the things that I think that Call of Duty, especially Black Ops 6, the upcoming game, can benefit from. But if there's anything that I missed that I should have included in this list or in the commentary, please let me know all of that in the comment section below. But if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you guys hit that like button. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the bell to be notified every single time I upload a video. Now with that being said, this is GCP signing off.